the ABA stands for Austrian Business Agency. It's a governmental agency. So we're owned by the Austrian Federal Ministry of Economy, Energy and Tourism. All international professionals and skilled workers can move to Austria if they have a binding job offer.
Potential is something, it's a progress that is unrealized.
Every year, the government publishes a list of shortage occupations. So these are professions where there are not many candidates in Austria.
The Hustleshare podcast is sponsored by One CFO, the Philippines' leading fractional CFO services provider for startups, scale-ups, and SMEs. Experience the power of tech-enabled, efficient, affordable, and expert-led fractional CFO services. Let One CFO handle your finances so you can focus on growing your business. Book your free CFO consultation today.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ron Baetiong.
Welcome to today's episode of the Hustleshare podcast. I'm super excited because on my last trip to Goab, I met this guy, right? And I was like, what is ABA? It's not ABA pala. Like, what? ABA? Right? No, it's ABA. And again, this is super interesting because they're the country of Austria is in a very aggressive mode to recruit top-tier Filipino and Indonesian talents to contribute to the utopian future that Austria is going to back. And what really fascinated me is the guy leading this charge is a fellow Pinoy. There you go. And without further ado, we'll be talking about Filipino talents and Filipinos being needed in the diaspora, specifically in Austria. But before we get carried away, let's welcome to the show the director of the Austrian Business Agency, Mr. Raphael Rey Bacolod. Everybody's clapping. Okay, there you go. Welcome to the show, Raphael.
Thank you.
Again, very, very big fan. And I love that you represent both cultures well. I remember what your outfit in Goab was, right? And again, before I get carried away, I need to ask you the $1 million question. Raphael,
Yeah.
What's your hustle?
What's my hustle? Well, basically, I help connect people across cultures.
Okay, that's amazing. So can you expound on that a little bit? So again, connecting across cultures and whatnot, obviously wearing the lens of a Pinoy living in Austria to get more people to come through and contribute to what you guys are building with Austria. What does that mean?
Well, it means, first of all, from the Austrian side is helping them, the Austrian employers, connect with international talents. In my case, talents from Indonesia and the Philippines.
Yep.
And from the other side of the lens, it's helping connect Indonesian and Filipino talents with and highlighting the opportunities in Austria to them, showing them where are the opportunities for you.
Yeah, and you're a living testament of this. Are you full-blooded Pinoy?
Yes, I have Filipino roots, but I was born and raised in Austria.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But if you point with your lips like that, there's still very much Pinoy living in Austria. But before I get carried away, and obviously and really convince people what they're technically missing out on with ABA and your program here, I need you to buckle up real quick because we need to go all the way back and understand what your personal journey was being a Pinoy growing up in Austria. Because we're going to have to ride the Hustleshare time machine. Okay. And we're all the way back. And that's what we want to find out, Raphael. So, okay. Obviously, you're full-blooded Pinoy and you grew up in Austria. Walk me through what growing up was like being a Pinoy, living and growing up in Austria.
Yes. So I was born in the 1990s.
Okay. Batang 90s. I don't know if you know what that means.
Child of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So born in 1991. But the story starts even earlier. My grandmother, a Filipina, moved 51 years ago to Austria. So over half a century. When back then there was a need for Filipina healthcare professionals. And my grandmother is retired, but she was a nurse.
Okay.
Registered nurse, emergency nurse. And she moved there 51 years ago. If you look up on Wikipedia, actually, there's the history of Filipinos in Austria. And there's a subsection of Filipinas or Filipina nurses in Austria where they say, I can't prove it, but they claim that the first group of Filipina nurses who moved to Austria was 17 July
Okay.
1984.
84.
Sorry, 1974.
74. Okay.
Yes, 1974. And that is the date my grandmother arrived. And they were 20 nurses, it said on Wikipedia. And she said she was a group of 20 nurses. So,
Okay.
so according to this would make it the first group. But I personally think there were some Filipinos who already were there physically earlier.
And this is the first gen, technically.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And obviously, again, them being nurses, Filipino healthcare professionals and
Mhm.
whatnot, what was the task? Because, okay, if Austria, again, just didn't need that
Mhm.
type of talent, they wouldn't get Filipinos to come through.
Mhm.
But why was there a need, and what were the first thing they were taking care of
Mhm.
as healthcare professionals back then?
Well, back then, I didn't experience those
Okay.
times, but from what I understood, back then there was just a demand for healthcare professionals.
Mm.
So already pretty far back then. And Filipino nurses were already very renowned for being
course.
excellent healthcare professionals, having the American education system. So they were already very well renowned. And I think that is what gave the opportunity for this, so to say, collaboration back then
Got it.
between Austria, actually, the city of Vienna and the Philippines. Back
So your
then.
parents then are also second generation Pinoy, Filipino Austrians per se?
So the way it happened was my grandmother first moved there to
Okay.
Austria. She was there around 6 years, I believe, 6 or 7 years on her own.
Okay.
And then she brought my mom.
Oh.
And my mom came as a 15-year-old back then in 1980. Again, no proof here, but my mom claims she was the first Filipino teenager or Filipina teenager back then because she saw no other teenagers at that time
Yeah.
that were Filipinos or Filipinas.
Right.
So yeah, she moved there in 1980, and then some years later she had me.
Wow, that's
And then,
amazing. So what was it like growing up?
Mhm.
Obviously, pretty sure at home there's a lot of Filipino nuances, food and whatnot,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
growing up in a very Austrian
Mhm.
environment, how
Yeah.
did that impact you as a
Yeah.
person now?
Well, growing up in the 90s, I went to bilingual schooling, so where the language of instruction was English and German.
Okay.
So in going to this school setting, I had very diverse class, so to say, mixed classmates, so classmates of diverse backgrounds,
Mhm.
also including cultures. And it was a mix, and I already had back then Filipino classmates or classmates with Filipino
okay.
roots. Not too many, but there were a few of them.
Okay.
And to this day, they are, so to say, my closest friends, or they belong to my
Nice.
inner circle. I must add, maybe this is something I find kind of ironic and funny,
Okay.
is that growing up, I did not consider myself very Filipino.
Okay.
Okay, because at home, my mom and grandma, I wouldn't say we're the typical Filipino family. In
Okay.
the sense, we're a small family.
Okay.
So 3 of us. And we were not always mingling too much in the Filipino community in Austria. There are other families that are much more active. The big
Got
families
it.
in Austria, or the big Filipino families in Austria and Vienna, they are very active
Okay.
in the community. We were rather, just amongst ourselves.
Okay.
And also compared to my Filipino friends in school, in class, I feel like they were much more connected to the Philippines because they would go on holiday to the Philippines, like
Got it.
maybe every couple of years. And this would be something that they would do, I guess, throughout while they were growing up. Whereas I've only been to the Philippines twice as a
Okay.
child.
Okay.
And we would not come here regularly. So only
Okay.
twice we came here. And in fact, the last time I came to the Philippines before I started my current role, it had been 25 years since I was in the Philippines the last time.
What?
Whereas my friends, they would go maybe every 3-4 years. I wouldn't say I was very well connected to the Philippines. And in a sense, my role has also enlightened me
Got
and
it.
educated me about the Philippines and Filipinos. And I am still learning.
Got it.
know?
And again, there's one thing about Filipino upbringing, again,
Mhm.
whether it's said or just showed that Filipinos are considered hustlers, regardless of the profession. I want to understand your very first exposure to hustling that you've seen from your mom and from your grandma
Mhm.
that I guess still rubbed off
Mhm.
to you
Yes.
during your career.
Yes. I think this is very true what you're saying. This hustle mentality, a hustle attitude,
Mhm.
being hardworking, diligent, and finding opportunities.
Mhm.
In my case, I would say it was not always very evident because your parents usually don't show you necessarily what they hustle in
Yes.
because they want to provide for you. You know,
Correct.
they don't want to necessarily show you the hardships.
Correct.
But I do know because my grandmother, although she was a nurse, sometimes she would also assist other elderly people in her free time. And she would take me along. So I would see that she took care of this one senior citizen is already very bedridden. And she would do that in addition to her main job. And also after she had retired, she had continued this hustle, so to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my mom worked long hours. That's why, yes, she's a single mom. My grandma took care of me and so to say, was my caretaker after school while my mom was working a full-time job, working long hours. So I would say that was their hustle, their hustle attitude. But this is something you commonly see also among other Filipinos, where they try to provide for their family.
Yeah, and dude, I can totally relate. I'm also raised by a single mom and raised by my grandma as an only child. So totally understand what that is and what that sounds like, because there's something about being raised by two strong women. My grandma was like the mother figure. My mom is still the mother figure, but she also had to perform the role of being the provider to give me opportunities that are scarce. Because if you look at the rest of my family, they were never put in schools that I was able to put in. That now I obviously am reaping the benefits of, because if those opportunities were not given very early, the chances for success were very, very slim. You're basically asking for a miracle. And that's what I wanted to guess. So now, growing up as the basically Austrian born Pinoy, right? You talked about the type of schools that you're coming in through, but walk me through high school, college, and how did you carve your own path towards hustling? What type of interests did you start gravitating towards?
Yes. I would say growing up, I was always fascinated by different cultures. So even though we didn't go to the Philippines regularly or often, my mom would still travel with me in the summers. So it's like the reward for going to school, and also for her working the whole year through. We'd travel to different places, sometimes also bring my Lola, my grandmother. That's my nickname for her. So we'd travel together, the three of us. I saw many nice places, but I always gravitated towards our trips in Asia. So even though I was not very well connected with the Philippines, we would travel to different Asian countries.
Okay.
Every couple of years. And whenever I was there, I was very fascinated. And I always wanted to go back. So I think naturally there was this inclination of mine and interest towards Asia. And growing up, I just did not know, what career path would I take. But I did know that I wanted to do something that would lead me to Asia eventually. So back then, in my juvenile mind, I thought, what are the options? It's probably maybe diplomacy, but my French is not very good.
Okay.
It's not good. It's non-existent. I first thought diplomacy, but then I thought, well, what is Asia known for? And what is it that I saw in Asia? And I saw these thriving businesses, this rapid development. So I thought it's business. So that led me then to study business-related subjects. First, I did a bachelor's degree in management. And then my end goal was actually to do this master's degree in the UK, which was on East Asian business. So the focus was on East Asia. And that really satisfied my craving, so to say, my curiosity for Asia. And then after that, bit by bit, with every job I moved towards a role that had something to do with Asia. Yeah.
Got it. It's your genetics pulling you back.
Perhaps, yes.
Towards the motherland. But before we take our first break, I want to understand, right? So obviously, if Asia has always been the heartstrings that are trying to pull you back, how did you scratch that itch to in your first few hustles to really?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're right now, you're full into it. You're always going back and forth.
Yes.
Feel bad for your body clock because the jet lag must be horrible. But how did you then gravitate towards that pull that you keep feeling whenever you travel?
Yeah. Well, once I finished this degree in East Asian business, I had already made many friends, university classmates who had some sort of Asian background, or some kind of Asian background. So anyway, I remained in touch with them, but I returned to Austria, to Vienna, because I still wanted to be with my mom and grandma, especially my grandma.
Of course.
So I returned home, and then I applied for different jobs. And then for some reason, it was mainly airlines that responded to my application. So my first real job out of university was with Austrian Airlines, the national carrier,
Wow.
so to say. And that was my first job for first 2 years, and they have staff benefits, like you can travel. So
Got it.
whenever I could, I would travel to Asia.
Wow.
Yes. But then I also knew that I wanted to eventually do something business related, like you know, go into what I had studied. So I started working for different companies. But the first time I really got to not only scratch but really get rid of that itch was in my previous role. Before the ABA, I worked for an Austrian manufacturer of security technology. So physical security, securing buildings, so
Okay.
keys and what you refer to as locks.
Okay.
And I managed the sales there for Asia Pacific. So in that previous role, I would also travel between Austria and Asia,
Okay.
primarily East and Southeast Asia.
Got it.
So many of the high-rise buildings you see in Southeast Asia are actually secured by the products we sold back then.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes.
You still have the spare keys?
I can check if I still have
Okay.
some spare keys for you.
Let's go them and
Yes.
do a heist.
Yes.
Okay, just kidding.
But-
no, but that's amazing.
Yeah. But in that role, unfortunately, I had not yet found opportunities in the Philippines
Right.
in that previous role, but I was in Indonesia in that role. And in that role, I went to Indonesia twice, and I was blown away actually by how rapidly developing it was.
Yes. It's crazy.
Yes, which is indicative actually of entire Southeast Asia, I would say.
Yeah.
Also including the Philippines.
Correct. There's a buzz.
Mm.
People always say it. I've had a lot of expats also
Mhm.
say that whenever they see people don't understand who are living in in countries like this,
Mhm.
how much potential that
Mhm.
is, and it's literally sky's the limit.
Yes.
But again, potential is something. It's a progress that is unrealized,
Mhm.
and you need to really be able to bridge that potential with the reality in the proper
Mhm.
hustle to meet that potential growth. All right, let's take our first break. And when we come back, we will now talk about how did this itch and exposure through Southeast Asia and repetition lead to Raphael working in the Austrian government, specifically to really help out people to get them to also join the ABA, okay, and join and actually work in Austria themselves. Let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, ever feel like your money's flowing in, but your profits are nowhere to be seen? Is managing your cash a constant source of stress, leaving you anxious about day-to-day operations? Or maybe you're holding back on growth because you're unsure if your finances are really stable. The real problem? You don't have a clear picture of your finances. Without a strategic financial partner, you're basically operating in the dark, always one step away from hidden pitfalls. But what if you had a seasoned fractional CFO who understands these challenges and gives you clear and straightforward steps to increase profits and grow steadily without the cost of a full-time CFO? That's what One CFO delivers. One CFO combines the strategic thinking of experienced CFOs with their own cutting-edge CFO tech platform, giving you transparent, real-time insights that empower you to make smart moves. They're the go-to fractional CFO partner for growing companies like Quick Insure, Avion School, J Labs, Advance, One Lot, Colorette, and Stash, helping them conquer financial challenges and achieve remarkable growth. Imagine having a crystal clear view of your financial performance and the confidence to execute bold, growth-driving strategies. Ready to level up? Click the link in the description or go to onecfoph.co. That's onecfoph.co right now to book your free no-obligation consultation. Gain clarity in your finances and grow your business with confidence. Click the link or visit onecfoph.co today.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Raphael Rey Bacolod, not the city, the person who then told us the amazing origin story of how he grew up in Austria as a Pinoy, and also how he started scratching the itch of pulling it back to where rice is more abundant
Mhm. Yeah.
in Southeast Asia. But now I want to understand, Raphael, you now are here, you've frequented. Walk me through how it pulled you back to becoming that bridge
Mhm.
of technically your motherland, what you considered home in Austria, and to basically be that bridge for ABA and how that opportunity came about and how you took advantage of it.
Joining the ABA was not something I had planned or expected.
Yep.
It's just an opportunity that presented itself.
Okay.
When was this? Just a little under 2 years ago.
Okay.
Around the turn of Christmas and New Year, someone had reached out to me and told me that, they know someone from this organization, this governmental agency, which happened to be the ABA,
Okay.
where they're looking for someone who would like to help connect and be this bridge with the Philippines and Indonesia. So I said, okay, I'll just listen to this, check it out. And then, so this person told me, well, let me introduce you to this other person who happens to be a colleague of mine now.
Okay.
And then they said, well, there's this vacancy, and the official title is a director for Indonesia and the Philippines at the department called Work in Austria at the ABA. So it's self-explanatory. It's about Indonesians and Filipinos working in Austria, especially talents, professionals, and skilled workers.
Yeah.
So then they said, you know what? Just submit your CV, your letter of motivation. We'll just have a look through it. So then I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. So I'll submit it. I was invited for a meeting, for an interview, basically, and I got to know my current boss, or back then my future boss.
Okay.
And some other colleagues as well. And I think the interview went very well. And I personally, I was blown away by my boss because very forward thinking, and someone who during the conversation had shown me, it's a lady that she has the aptitude to understand the journey of a foreign or international professional and skilled worker to Austria. And having that aptitude of understanding that very personal journey that is, I think, very rewarding and fulfilling,
right?
But at the same time also brings unique challenges. So it was very important for me to have a boss who understands this very well. And
right.
My boss, this lady, has been in the field of skilled labor migration for, I believe, over 20 years.
Amazing.
So this meeting my boss, inside it just clicked.
Right. Let's give her a shout out. Who is this boss?
My boss, her name is Margit Kreutzhuber. So shout out if you see this, Margit. But yes, that is what then made me decide I'll join the ABA, because I loved also my previous job.
Right.
But this, I thought, is an opportunity to give back. And the other thing about it, the other deciding factor for me was that it allowed me to also tell and relive my grandmother's story.
Yes.
Sharing this story, reliving it in a sense, understanding it. And I was thinking, the older she gets, there might not be that many more opportunities for me to do this.
No, absolutely.
So this is something I said, I have to grab this.
Yeah, it's personal, right? It's something that, again, too close to home. And again, you're right, because at the end of the day, not a lot of opportunities like this come through. But if you have an opportunity to actually work with someone that inspirational, then it's a no-brainer, right? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you just don't get to be the part of the ride, but you get to pave the way for others to be like your grandma, right? That's an opportunity. So now, ABA, there's an opportunity that's out there. Walk us through what the ABA program is, because I'll just give a bit of a background. I've had an experience of actually going to the Austrian embassy here in the Philippines, in VDC. Again, super random. That wasn't in my bingo card that year. The Austrian ambassador had a courtesy call, asked us to come because there was a Filipina podcaster within our network that actually won an award in Austria.
Oh, wow.
Her name is Miss Amina Rasul. And then she did a cast like, what is a courtesy call? I didn't even know what a courtesy call was. And man, it's like, I got to dress up and whatnot. And then she was very impressed about the amount of work of the quality of podcasts that we create. Because I didn't even know that podcast is not one of our top hits here, but for it to win an award in Austria
abroad,
because it represented the Filipino minorities here. The name of the show is called She Talks Peace.
She Talks Peace.
And again, as I met the Austrian ambassador, it's like, wow, it's blown away.
Cool.
Of how powerful podcasts can be all the way to Austria. So I've been exposed, and after that, I was just nothing but impressed with the Austrian embassy and how forward thinking, how immersed they are into the Filipino culture and how much they mean what they do and say. But walk me through this ABA program.
Yeah.
What is this and what are you guys looking for?
Sure. Well, the ABA stands for Austrian Business Agency.
Okay.
It's a governmental agency. So we're owned by the Austrian Federal Ministry of Economy, Energy, and Tourism.
Okay.
Now, we have, so to say, 3 divisions or 3 departments.
Okay.
One, the department that I work for is called Work in Austria, where we help Austrian companies connect with international talents as well as vice versa. Then we have a department called Invest in Austria. So if any Filipinos, perhaps in
High
future,
net worth individual.
yes, want to invest in Austria,
J-Olos, yeah.
entrepreneurs or companies, if they want to set up a subsidiary or factory in Austria. And the third one, which I think also falls in line with the creative industry, is called Film in Austria, which brings in foreign movie and series productions
My
to
team
Austria.
is looking at me. It's like, Ron, I will resign in a bit. Okay, Huy, don't.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right.
So, for example, there was this movie, I believe 7 to 10 years ago, A Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Which one?
Oh, good question. There's so many, I don't even keep track of it. But there's this
There's 6 or 7
Yes.
iterations of it
and
now.
there's one particular scene where he's running along the opera, the Vienna State
that
Opera.
one.
And that is filmed right across our office. What? And that, I believe, came through
Amazing.
through the ABA. So yes,
Okay.
so that based on what I'm telling you, I think you can already hear what we do is we basically promote the location Austria. It's but in different fields: investing, filming, and working.
Yeah, because most Filipinos, the only thing they probably know about Austria is Vienna sausage.
Yes,
Yeah.
although I think the other thing I keep hearing also is Sound of Music.
Sound
Is the other thing I
music.
keep hearing. Yes,
That's for more high alta Pinoys. For me, Vienna
Okay.
sausage. That's
Vienna
my
sausage.
ulam every...
yeah.
Whenever it's Pecha de Peligro, thank you,
Very
Vienna
good.
sausage.
Okay.
Because even just the sabaw, the
Okay,
soup,
yes,
it's
yeah.
good enough to fill you up. Okay,
Very
just kidding. But
It's
okay,
true.
ABA,
Yes.
three divisions.
Mhm.
And obviously you are part or you lead the Work in Austria division here in Indonesia and the Philippines.
Yes, I handle the markets, of
Okay,
course,
so
under my boss.
What's the mandate? What is the mission?
Mhm.
And what's the good news
Yeah.
for Filipinos
Yes.
and Indonesians as well?
Yes. Well, basically, all international professionals and skilled workers can move to Austria if they have a binding job offer. Now, Indonesia and the Philippines are among our focus markets, 2 of our focus regions, because there is an existing MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, where the Philippine or the Indonesian government has signed this political agreement with Austria, with the Austrian government.
Okay.
And it's on the recruitment of skilled professionals and skilled workers. And this MOU basically is both countries agreeing to promote opportunities for these
Right.
Filipinos in Austria, assisting them, enabling them, and just facilitating the flow of Filipino professionals and skilled workers to
Yeah.
Austria.
What type of skilled workers? Just, again, skilled workers, that's technically synonymous to Filipinos.
Mhm.
We've seen hotbeds
Mhm.
of Filipino skilled workers where people typically migrate in. Middle East, we're talking about, people
Yeah.
who work a lot there. Again, there's also healthcare. There's a lot of types of talents. Again, let's say Hong Kong, Singapore,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of Filipino skilled workers. But is there a specific subcategory that you look for in Work in Austria, in ABA, that you're trying to attract
Yeah.
to come to Austria? And what are these opportunities
Yes.
that are waiting for them?
Very good question. I also had to find this out before joining the ABA. Basically, every year, the government publishes a list of shortage occupations. So
Okay.
these are professions where there are not many candidates in Austria, not many local
Like?
candidates. Okay, among this year's list, there are 81 professions.
Okay.
While you have professions which are typically associated with shortage occupations,
Okay.
such as healthcare, so nurses.
Okay.
You also find jobs like cooks, professional cooks, but majority of the professions in these 81 professions this year, and also in the foreseeable future, are technical jobs. So technical jobs in terms of IT,
Okay.
engineering tech, so technicians and engineers.
Flood control. We have a lot of that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So engineers and technicians in electrical engineering, electronics, mechatronics, mechanic, robotics, automation, and finally life sciences. By life sciences, we mean fields such as biochemistry, medical technology.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, these are amazing. And when you say these are opportunities, what type of jobs? Because always, again, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
The Philippines is literally sheltered from massive economic downturns because of one of the most bankable industries that's very, very unique to the Philippines, actually. Probably only India has a similar thing. It's our Filipino diaspora or our OFW sending money back home. Now, why do people go overseas, or why do Pinoys go overseas? Obviously, for the same competency that they have, if they stayed here, they'd probably get a fraction of what they can make overseas, right? But the main reason why people do that is because they want to support their family back home.
Yes.
Right? There's always that super breadwinner that will have to go through homesickness so that the family becomes better. But probably 9 times out of 10, that champion will have to really put up a massive Herculean effort to do that. But again, just double down on the opportunities, because for people to really consider, and of course, the reason why I wanted you here today is because there's always the top of the list. I want to go to Japan, whatever. But if people didn't even know that Austria is actually on the manhunt for Pinoys and these types of fields, man, they're missing out.
Well, I would say what makes Austria alluring is the excellent quality of life. You know?
Okay, walk me as a Pinoy in Austria. Make us inggit.
What does
what
it mean?
we're talking about here.
Well, very good question. I mean, it's also a very personal question.
Okay,
in the sense,
let's
what
go.
do you consider excellent quality of life? But what is available in Austria is, let's start with the most basic need.
Okay.
We have bottles of water here. In Austria, we drink our tap water. So just as an example, even though my grandmother moved over 50 years ago from the Philippines to Austria, she was still accustomed to always buying bottled water.
Yeah.
In Austria,
Mineral.
yes. In Austria, we have drinkable tap water. What? Yeah, so we just drink water from the tap. Of
You
course,
don't
you can.
get weird stuff.
No. So even you can of course. Water bottles are still available in Austria, but it's common to drink tap water, and you can save by not buying bottled water.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
That's
Water
just one.
pala, I'm sold na.
That's just
Okay.
one, but there are other things. I mean, I would say Austria in general is very peaceful. Very peaceful. It's serene. It's
Walang marites.
Yeah, so it's just serene. It's serene. We have many green parks and spaces that are freely accessible. Infrastructure is very good, you know. So our pavements, walkways are flat. They're accessible for the disabled and elderly. So you also have like I don't even know what it's called, but these walkways for the blind where they can follow the floor. We have excellent public transportation. So the public transportation itself is accessible for everyone.
How's the traffic in Austria?
Well, I would say traffic is good. It's nothing like some countries in Asia I've been to where you have to plan an additional hour just to make up for traffic. So
how's the flood in Austria?
Luckily Austria does not have natural catastrophes very often. But the one thing we do have occasionally and rarely are floods.
Do you have an extra seat on your flight back? I'll leave this whole thing na bahala na sila dito.
No. I mean, you have an important role here, so
need for you to. I want the peace. Okay.
Yeah, but I think what's also alluring for Filipinos in Austria is there are many other Filipinos.
Really?
Yeah, I would say there's.
Okay, you mentioned that it's peaceful. Do the Filipinos in Austria sing karaoke? Are they the noisiest citizens in Austria as well, because their pastime is karaoke?
While they do still do karaoke back home, I wouldn't consider them noisy.
Okay,
so
good.
We have
silent lang.
So so we do have karaoke bars. They will sing at home among the family. They will sing in church. That's another one. So karaoke is still available. Filipino food is still available. In fact, I've seen certain Filipino festivals or get-togethers where Filipinos can, congregate. So Austria is a cool place.
Right. Now wait, this is the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Let's address it.
Okay.
100-pound elephant.
Mhm.
No, 1,000-pound elephant.
Okay.
Because of course, when people will always go overseas,
Yeah.
let's just call it what it is. There's going to be homesickness.
Yes.
It's hella cold in Austria. For those people who are not used to that hella cold, good luck to you. Okay. But again, it's very serene and whatnot. The main driver why people would go overseas as a Pinoy is the compensation.
Yes.
What is the variance that we're talking about here?
Yeah. Well, I would say compensation in Austria is good. Okay. Austria is a wealthy economy.
Okay.
And also the professions that I had mentioned, especially the technical jobs, these are high-skilled professional jobs, which also will come accordingly with the salary that comes with it. So these are professional roles, skilled roles. And I say in these roles, IT, tech, life sciences, you can make good salaries. Just to give you an example, we supported this one Filipino guy.
Okay. Let's hide his name as Junjun.
Okay, let's call him Junjun. Okay, so Junjun, his motivation his initial motivation was he wanted to help his family financially. And I think they had some maybe financial difficulties, or it was rather just tight.
Okay.
He was looking for opportunities, how to earn more, get promoted. And then he just stumbled across one of our ads on our website. And then on our website, we have this career platform called the Talent Hub, where you can connect with Austrian employers. And he applied for one single role, one job. One shot, exactly. What? One shot. He was very clutch. One shot, and he got the job offer.
You can't even do that in Caliber or Job Street here.
Yeah.
You have to really pray and you apply, and then you pray, and then you...
Yeah. And,
wow.
But okay.
What role was it?
Yeah, it's IT. And accordingly, you won't just decide to leave without the salary or compensation being good enough. So, but that one job was good and good enough, and he moved there. His family soon after followed. We assisted them in the entire process of applying for their permits, working residence permit. So that is really where we help them. Once you have a job offer, we assist them in getting these permits. It's all free of cost, and they moved there. And I think it's good. They're doing well.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm sold. If PNA loses its founder, it's you.
Okay. We can exchange roles.
Okay. Right.
I stay here, and then you go there.
I don't speak German. What am I going to say there? Danke. The only thing I know is Danke and Schmetterling.
That's a good start. That's a good start. Thank you and butterflies.
Like, what the hell? Butterfly. That's what I've been saying. That doesn't even make sense.
But if I may just clarify one misconception, perhaps, is that yes, in Austria we have winters, but it's not cold throughout the entire year.
It's not frozen.
No, it's not frozen. It's not frozen. So yes, we have winter, but winter is usually between December and February, March, or November, February. So we have 4 seasons. We have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And yes, winter can be cold.
Yep.
But we still have summer. And summer, I must admit, sometimes the summer in Vienna can get almost as hot as here, but just not as humid.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
We have high temperatures of 35, 36 degrees Celsius occasionally. So if you,
as long as there's other Filipinos to yakap naman, the other Pinoys will be just fine.
Sure.
Okay. Last question before we take our last break. Let's be very specific about these types of roles, and then if obviously you're not going to go through the 81 jobs that we're talking about. What type of specific jobs are out there for grabs? Because if Junjun can do a one shot and change his life forever, I'm pretty sure he's now his family's champion somewhere. There's like low hanging fruit that there's so much demand, and what type of companies are we talking about that are willing to hire them there?
Yeah, sure. Well, Austria has many innovative tech companies.
Okay.
So it's basically up to the demands of the Austrian companies.
Okay.
The exact roles, I won't list them out now. I don't even know them off by heart.
But high level.
Yes, but let's say in IT, you're looking for software developers, software engineers, programmers, UI, UX, full stack developers. These are just some of the examples I see on our career platform. And
the career platform
keeps growing. It's the career platform is on our website. It's called workinaustria.com.
Workinaustria.com.
Yes. And on that website, there is a button called the Talent Hub. You click on it.
Okay.
And then there is our career platform. You can create and activate a profile. It's all free of cost so that Austrian employers can reach out to you. And you can also look for jobs. And the cool thing about this website is that usually the job descriptions are in German because it's our official language. The job descriptions can be translated to other languages, including English and Tagalog, as long as you accept the cookies. But this is just so that you ensure that you have a complete understanding of the job.
Galing.
But in the end, you still have to apply, of course, and submit your documents either in English or German because the recruiters don't speak Tagalog. But it's just an additional assistance the ABA provides to these talents. And the one thing I can only recommend is that, yes, you might only speak English or not German.
Yep.
It is possible to land a job in Austria only with English, but it depends on the role and the company. Certain companies, they will accept that you only speak English, like this example of Jun, he did not speak German. But I would say it is very helpful if you learn German or if you can learn some German, because this will just increase your chances and open up the opportunities for you and your family.
Yep, that's amazing. Now let's take our last break, and when we come back, let's do a deep dive on what the opportunities are, like is there requirements that is needed and whatnot, and of course what to expect once you're already there, because it's all fun and games and as well. But let's talk about other Junjuns that have been there and done that, and of course paid forward with Raphael. We'll talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, before we resume the episode, let me tell you a very quick secret. Do you guys ever wonder how we're able to consistently release episode after episode here in Hustleshare without missing a date over the past 3 years? Well, it's not just pure hustle, because I'm also running my podcast along with me running my startup full time. Now, for some of you who have listened to this podcast, you guys very well know that I created a startup that is designed to help the best podcasters in Southeast Asia to realize their full potential, which is called Podcast Network Asia. And over the past couple of years, we've achieved quite a lot in P&A, helping hundreds of podcasters create world-class episodes consistently. However, what we realize is that we are not really solving the real problem of all podcasters in the world if we're not going to productize the thing that we're very good at, which is helping podcasters solve the two main pain points of a podcaster, which is number one, nobody really likes to edit their own show, especially if you're listening to your own voice. Just like me, I cringe a lot. Having to listen to my voice for 3 to 4 hours just to release a 1-hour episode. It's no fun. And then the other thing is that most podcasters, just like me, are absolutely clueless on how to properly grow their show, which is something that we have perfected in Podcast Network Asia. So we've decided to put this all in one product that helps any podcaster in the world create world-class shows that people will love and will continuously grow. And that's why we created Podmachine. Podmachine is the most affordable podcast subscription service that helps you with your podcasting needs. We've got everything from audio production, crafting designs, and marketing and growth support. So as a podcaster, you can now just focus on the thing that matters the most, creating great content for your listeners. So if you are an existing podcaster or someone that actually wants to create their podcast now, no need to worry. You got a founder's discount by listening here on Hustleshare. So sign up now at podmachine.com. And aside from the free trial that you're going to get as a new user, I'm throwing in another one free edit as soon as you sign up for just as low as $49.99 USD a month to start creating a consistent and world-class podcast. Again, that's podmachine.com and use the code Hustleshare to get your founder discount. So if you have friends that are podcasters and if you want to have a podcast just like this, y'all know what to do. So just go and talk to you guys in Podmachine.
And we're back from the break. We're still with Raphael Rey Bacolod and Todas, and in between the break, everybody's applying. Whoever's in the room right now, there's about 10 people here and all vital parts of our startup. So pasensya na if we lost. Raphael, what did you do? You just killed our teams. No, it's just too compelling of an effort. Now, if I was available too, I would be the first. I'm just interviewing right now, but first thing I'll do is check out the Talent Hub. Okay,
sure.
But walk me through again the process. So let's go back to Jun.
Yeah.
What happens? Okay, they have a Talent Hub. Do they have to have a talent or a job offer prior to flying in? Walk me through the process. Let's just say there's this opportunity.
Yeah.
What comes next?
Well, the way it works is we have this talent hub,
Okay.
which is a career platform. And there are multiple jobs listed by companies that are open to hiring international talents.
Right.
So if you create a profile and activate it, you can create, it's like a dating profile, you can say, jokingly. You can put different information about yourself, about your background. So on the one hand, the Austrian companies can reach out to you if they like your profile. And at the same time, you can apply for the different job listings.
Okay.
So in Junjun's case, he saw this one job that he liked.
Okay.
He applied for it. So sent his CV, sent his letter of motivation.
Okay.
Once he applied, I guess the company liked him. They invited him for a video interview because he's still in the Philippines. So they went through this video interview process. I can't remember if it was 2 rounds or 3 rounds, but he was a very persuasive and competent candidate. So after that recruitment process, they offered him this job. And you need a binding job offer. That's the first thing you need.
A proper JO.
Yes, a binding job offer.
Okay.
Once you have a binding job offer, you're eligible to apply for the work and residence permit. In Austria, it's called the red card. It's a physical card.
Okay.
Small card, which we call the red card.
That's the Austrian flag.
It's the Austrian flag, yes.
Okay.
Red,
All right.
white, and red. Exactly. So this is the first step. You need to have a binding job offer, and then you're eligible to apply for the Austrian work and residence permit.
How about the visa?
Okay. So the way it works is you apply for this work and residence permit, which we assist you with if you let us know you have a job offer.
Wow.
You just have to tell us you have a job offer, and then we assist you in applying for this. Now, I can tell you just very briefly what are the requirements here. Okay. You don't have to remember them because we will tell you again if you contact us.
And it's in this podcast, you can just replay. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
So the job offer itself, the job requirements, each company decides what's the requirement.
Okay.
Once you have the job offer and you apply for this permit, you will be evaluated according to 4 criteria,
Okay.
which is your qualifications, your work experience, your relevant work experience, your age, and the languages you speak.
Languages.
Yes.
Why is that a factor?
Okay. So it's a cumulative system, a point system. It's like in maths class. It doesn't matter whether you get 100 points or 99 points. You just want to pass.
Of course.
So you can get the points from any of the categories. There's no hard cap from which ones you have to get it. Okay. Qualifications, of course, if you're qualified, you have a university degree or some kind of vocational apprenticeship training. Then relevant work experience, only relevant work experience will be counted. So for every half year of relevant work experience you get, you can get points. And this is also, I think, particularly attractive for those Filipino professionals and skilled workers who have already many years of work experience. Even if they're older, there is, so to say, no limit to it. Unless, of course, you're retired, you can't work anymore. But of course, there's no age limit. You can only be between 20 and 25. In fact, you are rewarded in a sense because the older you are, more likely you have more work experience. At the same time, we're not punishing the young people because in terms of the age brackets, the younger you are, the more points you get. But if you're older, it still doesn't disqualify you in that sense. So it's a balanced system. When you're older, perhaps more work experience. When you're younger, you get more points based on your age.
Got it.
And the fourth one, the languages. You get the most points for English and German. Okay. But you also get points for Spanish, French, and the Slavic languages, Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian.
Yep.
So I think Filipinos are well adept to get the English points.
Right.
If they learn German, the easier they get even more points with German.
Right.
You also have perhaps Spanish still.
Right.
So you get points for these languages.
And it's easier to read now. I mean, to learn now with the Babbel and all that, all these Duolingo, whatever.
Yes.
And you just really need repetition and exposure.
And we can also refer you to some free German learning tools. We can assist. We can share these with you. We don't provide them, but we can share some with you. Yeah.
And man, there's this ultimate cheat code.
Yes.
ChatGPT exists now.
So once we assist you in getting this red card, you have this permit to live and work in Austria. At the same time, before you leave the Philippines, shout out to the Philippine government here. As I know you're on the run here by them. You also have to undergo the processes of the DMW. The Department of Migrant Workers for the overseas Filipino workers. They also have their own regulations. What is necessary to leave the Philippines for work purposes. So you will have to go through them and they can assist you. In fact, we have a migrant workers office of the DMW in Vienna.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm not an expert on their processes,
Mhm.
but you also have to undergo those processes. We are the experts in terms of moving to Austria.
Got
They
it.
are, so to say, the experts in leaving the Philippines. We assist you with moving to Austria. So I can
Mhm.
only talk about this process.
Yeah.
But in any case, let us say you've gone through all the regulations of this DMW.
Mhm.
The way it works is that once you get this red, white, red card,
Mhm.
so to say, you will have to pick it up in Austria, this physical card. But then for that, you will need a visa just once,
Yep.
just to be able to fly into Austria. And then you pick up the card and there's no more need for a visa. It's just that one time to be able to enter.
What?
Yeah. And then you have this permit. And this permit allows you to live and work in Austria for 2 years, where you're bound to that first employer.
Okay.
And then after those 2 years, you can extend your stay if you like it by another 3 years, which is the upgraded red, white, red plus card.
There's a plus. That's
Yes.
like an iPhone.
Yeah, it's a.
Is there a Pro Max after this?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. Yes, or maybe for the younger kids, like
Okay.
Pokemon,
Okay.
Charmander and Charizard,
Okay.
the evolution, so to say, fitting with the red theme, fire. So yes, after the 2 years, you get the Plus card, the Pro Max card, let's say,
Okay.
which extends it by another 3 years. And the difference is that once you switch
Okay.
between the basic card and the Pro Max card, let's call it like
Okay.
that, you can also apply for any other job. So you can also progress and upskill.
Wow.
Yes. And the great thing, because you already mentioned this with the struggles and challenges of OFWs and the hardships, we are very well aware of this. And one of the biggest struggles and hardships that we know of and we want to alleviate is this hardship of leaving family behind.
Yeah.
So if you, as what we refer to as the anchor person, have this red, white, red card,
Mm.
you're also able to bring your family, that is your spouse, and your children with you
The
to
kabit.
Austria. Yes, you can bring
Do
your
you, no kabit? The
Sorry, what's kabit?
Concubine. Okay.
Occupant?
Okay.
Oh, the occupants were yes. Yeah, I
No,
understood.
no.
I understood.
Just the legal one.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right.
No. So
Mhm.
yes, your spouse, whether it's husband or wife, and
Mhm.
the children below 18, they can join you because we are well aware of the struggle of Filipinos leaving their families behind,
Got it.
not seeing them for many years. And the second thing that we are very well aware of is that if you should even be able to follow your partner to another
Mm.
country, many times you have to sacrifice your own career for your partner because you cannot pursue your
course.
own career.
Mhm.
In Austria, we also want to remove this barrier. The spouse who joins you and the children, they get already the upgraded card, the red, white, red plus card.
Wow.
So this allows your spouse to also pursue his or her own career and work in
Correct,
Austria.
correct. Man, I am super sold. That's amazing. Just walk us through timeframes.
Mhm.
Because of course, people are always eager.
Yeah.
People always lose their hope if it comes too long. So the moment you get your initial qualified job offer, get the thing. Well, how long does that take typically?
Well, so the recruitment process, that depends on the company, but we assist you in applying for the permit.
Okay.
And we say around 8 weeks it should take to get the permit. And then it depends also on you preparing on moving to Austria, depending on your preparations. But I think this June, how long did he need? I mean, not the permit.
Yeah,
the permit we assisted him, but in the total process, I think in around 3 months or so, he was already in 3 or 4 almost. Because I guess he had to also maybe release his rent contract here in the Philippines. But yeah, I think it was speedy.
If 3 months, that means
months,
the demand is so much higher than the supply.
It also depends on the availability of the
Makes sense.
Filipinos. Of course, he has to also undergo the processes of the DMW. But I think around 4 months, maybe it wasn't 3, just around.
That's so
plus
fast.
minus.
People take years to have an opportunity to say work in Dubai or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And there's a high probability they're going to get scammed by a placement agency. And all these schemes that are super heartbreaking.
Yes, this is another thing I would like to address. We are also very well aware of this problem. In Austria, it's not allowed that a Filipino has to pay any kind of fee for the recruitment or placement. So this is not allowed that a Filipino has to pay to an entity.
You feel you mean. I have an experience. So, what was this? 3 years ago, I was invited to a podcasting conference in Saudi Arabia. I almost didn't go because I thought it was a scam. Like, what the hell is there? A podcasting? I'm English. I don't speak Arabic. Right? What the hell am I going to do there?
Yeah.
But long story short, I eventually came. I thought the only way to get a visa was go through a VFS. Here, I don't know what VFS stand for, but basically Filipinos in a hotbed like the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, the amount of hoops that you're gonna have to go through, just even here, already makes you feel very inhumane. I felt like crap. Just trying to be there, trying to get a chance. And I'm not even trying to get for an opportunity. Everybody got treated the same. Everybody got treated like shit.
Understood.
And the beauty of this is that if they're not willing going through a middleman and they're directly working with governments, man, if Junjun got there in 3 to 4 months, of course, there's always going to be requirements. There's always going to be some extra hustle that you have to go through. But man, I'd take this in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm really sorry to hear this story. And yes, it's tragic.
I felt bad for those people trying to go to Saudi,
yes,
man.
It's tragic for people who have to go through such hardships. ABA is of the same position and opinion like the DMW. Don't follow anyone claiming that if you pay them something, you're able to move to Austria. Most likely it's a scam. Also, what I would like to also say is that regardless of how you find a job offer in Austria, whether it's through our talent hub, whether it's through other platforms, or whether it's through PRAs, because of course there are also PRAs from that are licensed, approved and licensed by your government and operating in Austria, or whether you find a job offer through those agencies, the ABA will assist you. Even if you don't find a job offer on our platform, we assist any Filipino who gets a job offer at an Austrian employer regarding their work and residence permit, and also any questions they have about living and working in Austria. So we don't discriminate here, but it's just to let you know that please don't follow any such scams.
Right.
Just go through, the official channels.
Okay. That's amazing. Now, last 2 questions before we wrap this baby up. What's your advice for people? Okay, you've seen a lot of people try and accept it. Probably some people failed as well. What would be our advice for Filipinos or Indonesians who's trying to take their best shot to really maximize this opportunity?
Well, first of all, I think Filipinos and Indonesians, they have a certain advantage in that many of them are educated and have qualifications in the areas which are in high demand in Austria. As I mentioned, IT, tech and engineering, and life sciences. You find there are many of those who studied that or have those qualifications. So don't be discouraged. What I would advise, though, these Filipinos and Indonesians who are really serious about moving to Austria for career opportunities is, first of all, inform yourself about the possible employers there. We have many innovative modern companies.
Okay.
Some of them we refer to as hidden champions. They might not even be very well known abroad. They might not be your typical consumer goods, but we have many innovative companies. Just to let you know some examples of Austrian companies that you might have heard of, consumer goods-wise, Red Bull, Swarovski, Glock, KTM. Those are just some examples, but there are many more Austrian companies potentially, yes.
That's
so that's the
amazing.
second advice, is inform yourself about the opportunities and the companies there. Third advice I would give basically is that really the key is German. Yes, you can find jobs if you only speak English, but if you want the plethora of jobs and opportunities, career opportunities in Austria, it's by standing out and also being able to speak German and have the qualifications in that. It's just like me. If I were to look for a job in the Philippines, most likely I think I could find a job where I could get by with English. But if I really want most of the opportunities, it's if I am able to speak the local language. The same there. And a bonus tip, perhaps, connect with people who have gone through the journey or who can assist you on your journey, whether it's the ABA or other Junjuns, other fellow kababayans. You can get inspired by them, And we also highlight these stories and cases on our social media, where you can watch a bit about get an insight into their lives.
No, for sure. That's amazing. But my last question before I let you go is, how fulfilling is this? Because I'm knowing now that you're paving the way for so much more Filipinos, similar to your grandma in the 1970s that are now coming into. Where do you find the most joy in opening doors like this? This is this is not, obviously I'm pretty sure it pays well and whatnot, but the satisfaction that you get seeing more Junjuns, provide for their families and the opportunities that you get to enjoy normally at home.
Yeah.
Well, how does that feel like?
Yeah. It is indeed very fulfilling. Yes, it has certain challenges in this job, but what makes up for it is this fulfillment. Stories like Junjun. But even more than that, what fascinated me about his story, I'll give him credit. His real name is Jose.
Yeah.
So let's take the example of Jose. What really touched me about Jose is not only his drive to progress in his career, but it's that he wanted to be able to support his family. This is not a story of an individual seeking career opportunities. This is a family story.
Correct.
That for me was very touching. And this is why this story was highlighted, for example, in an Austrian newspaper. So that in itself, it's even though you don't know the person, you can identify with this close-knit family. I think that is what it's something that is a very unique trait of Filipinos, also Indonesians. It's how close the family is.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that makes it very fulfilling. The other thing that makes it very fulfilling, and this is where I met you at Geeks on a Beach, is meeting all these inspiring talents and individuals who have so much talent to showcase and abilities and skills. Yes, Filipinos are excellent healthcare workers.
Yeah.
Excellent, and they have world-renowned reputation. At the same time, I believe there are many more stories and talents not yet discovered in the Philippines, at least on a global stage, which deserve to be highlighted and showcased. One type of such talent that has to be showcased is in the IT, tech, and life sciences field.
Dude, I have so many friends who are senior devs here. This is the sad part. A lot of the best developers and best IT people that I know are no longer here. So again, please do take care. I'm pretty sure they send money back. But a lot of the people that I know, their best IT devs and whatnot, are no longer here, are overseas.
Yeah.
Because obviously for the same qualifications that they have, they just make 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. But what I love seeing though, is even if they're able to unlock all these opportunities, majority of the time they go back, they hire their sub devs here and open that path for people to be able to do it. Or they even create businesses on their own. So that's still supporting the country back. That's amazing. Now, okay, last thing before I let you go, Raphael, please do invite people over. Like me, I'm sold.
Okay.
And all these people behind the cameras, they're all sold. Where do they go if they want to join you in Vienna and the whole thing? If they want to be part of the ABA Work in Austria program, where do they go and how do they do that?
Yes. So if you want to inform yourself, the best way is you go on our website, which is workinaustria.com. You can also access our social media channels. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube. So just type in Work in Austria, Austrian Business Agency, ABA, and you'll find us. Reach out to us. We're here to help you. Just to emphasize, this is all free of cost. This is a service provided by the Austrian government to any international talents, including Filipinos, of course, who want to inform themselves about Austria. And I hope to see you there next time.
For sure. Ayan, if I get you there, you're welcome. Okay, if you see Raphael in Austria and become a Pinoy in Austria, dude, I'm happy for you. And please make sure that you pave the way for all the others to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Again, Raph, before I let you go, follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. If you see a follow button or a subscribe button, smash that thing so that you can also get the next episode that we're doing also coming up. And also, if we did say some jargon, any links like the website that Raphael mentioned, it's going to be on hustleshare.com. So please do check it out so you don't have to pull over or type shit up. It's going to be in hustleshare.com. And if you want to support Hustleshare just like our amazing sponsors like 1CFO number 1, okay, you can also support us at premium.hustleshare.com. Again, Raphael, thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
Ayan.
Thank you.
Sama-sama. Okay,
Sama-sama.
and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.